Welcome to PharmaCourse. At PharmaCourse, we are dedicated to revolutionizing the pharmaceutical sector through innovation, education, and strategic collaboration. Our platform is designed to empower industry professionals, support cutting-edge research, and drive global transformation in healthcare.
Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking at leadership and operational excellence.
Ooh.
Yeah. We found this super interesting article
Okay.
that kind of digs into how having the right leader can really make or break a company's journey to reach peak performance and, really embrace efficiency and innovation.
Absolutely. And it's so interesting how much people can get caught up in just the technical stuff.
Right.
Lean and Six Sigma and all of that.
Yeah.
And they forget how important leadership is
Yeah.
to make those frameworks actually work.
Totally. I was thinking about it it's like having all these amazing ingredients in this beautiful kitchen,
Oh, yeah.
but no chef.
I love that.
All the tools are there, but nobody to actually make it all come together.
Exactly. And this article makes a really good point about that.
Okay.
It says that in this context, leadership is much more than just saying do this or hit those metrics.
Yeah.
It's about the whole company culture so that everybody feels like they can contribute and be a part of this journey towards continuous improvement.
So it's not about being the boss, it's about cultivating the right culture.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And one of the biggest takeaways for me from this article was how much they talk about vision.
Yeah.
And it's not enough for leaders to just say, we need to be better, we need to be more efficient.
Right.
They need to be able to explain what that actually looks like.
Oh, interesting.
What will the company look like when we reach those goals?
Right.
Why is it important for everybody?
Yeah.
Not just for the bottom line,
So it's like giving people a destination to work towards, not just a bunch of rules to follow.
Exactly.
What did you find in the article about how leaders can actually do that well?
Well, have you ever been on a team where the goals just seem totally random
Oh, yeah.
or they don't really make sense?
It's the worst.
Yeah, it's super demotivating,
Yeah.
but good leaders,
Yeah.
they can tell a story.
Okay.
They connect these operational excellence goals
Right.
to the bigger picture,
Yeah. Okay.
maybe improving customer experience or making the business more sustainable or even helping their employees grow.
Right.
It's a huge difference between just saying we need to cut waste by 10%
Yeah.
versus saying, imagine if we could fix all of these problems and then the team can work on more creative stuff.
Yeah. And more fulfilling stuff.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And the article actually says that kind of leadership isn't just making people feel good.
Oh.
It actually makes a big difference in the company's results.
So it's not all just touchy-feely stuff. There's
Yeah.
real data behind it.
Totally.
Okay.
And the article talks about 5 key roles that leaders play in operational excellence.
Okay.
And actually, anybody can fill these roles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're saying it's not just about being the CEO or being the manager?
Right.
Okay.
Anybody can be a leader.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are these 5 roles?
All right. So the first one is what we were talking about, setting a vision for everybody.
Okay.
The second is building and changing the culture.
Ooh, culture.
Yes,
That's a big one.
it is a really big one.
Where do you even begin?
Well, the article says
Yeah?
you have to consistently role model the right behaviors,
Okay.
ask for honest feedback,
Okay.
and be willing to change things as you go.
So it's less about saying, okay, now we're a company that does continuous improvement.
Yes.
It's about living those principles.
Exactly.
Okay.
So think about a leader that you've really admired.
Okay.
What did they do that made the company culture so good?
The best leaders I've worked with were the ones who were really approachable.
Oh, yeah.
They actually cared about their team's development, and they got excited about even the small wins,
That's so important.
which I thought was really cool and motivating.
I agree.
And they weren't afraid to get their hands dirty.
Yes, leading by example is always better than just saying empty words.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so we've got vision and culture.
Okay.
What's the third one?
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites.
Okay.
It's employee engagement
Okay.
and empowerment.
Yeah, because if your employees aren't engaged,
Yeah.
nothing's going to work.
Exactly.
But how do you actually empower your employees?
Right. So the article gives some ideas.
Okay.
One of the biggest ones is giving people autonomy,
Oh, okay.
not micromanaging,
Yeah.
trusting them to do their job
Right.
and to make decisions.
Totally.
And the article also says that leaders need to make a space where people feel safe to speak up
Right.
and share their ideas.
Yeah.
and even to admit when they made a mistake.
Without getting in trouble.
Yeah,
That's really important.
it is.
Yeah, okay. And it's also about investing in employees' professional development.
Yes.
Like making sure they have access to training and mentorship.
The stack up.
And opportunities to like move up in the company.
Yeah, because when people feel like they're valued and they can see a future for themselves in the company,
Right.
they're much more likely to want to stay and be engaged.
It's like a win-win.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we got engaged and empowered employees.
Yes.
What's next?
The next one is all about actually making those improvements.
Driving continuous improvement.
Exactly. And that might seem like a no-brainer,
Yeah.
but so many companies say they do this,
Yeah.
but they don't actually do it.
Right. So how do they actually walk the walk?
Well, the article talks about these things called Kaizen events.
Oh, I think I've heard of those.
Yeah.
What are they again?
So basically, it's when everybody gets together
Okay.
and brainstorms ideas for how to fix things.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then they try out their ideas right away.
Oh, wow. So it's not just like a meeting.
Right.
It's like a working session.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and the article says that good leaders use those Kaizen events to build a culture of collaboration.
Okay.
So you get people from different departments working together so they can see how their work impacts everybody else.
That's cool.
And then they actually test out their ideas and track the results.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's like planting a seed
Yes.
that grows into this like garden of continuous improvement.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
All right.
Okay, so we've got vision, we've got culture, we've got employee engagement and empowerment, and we've got continuous improvement.
Yes.
What's the last one?
Okay, the last one is about accountability
Okay.
and alignment.
What does that mean?
It's making sure everybody is working towards the same goals.
Right.
So,
That-
no more working in silos.
Everybody's rowing the boat together.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Okay.
And leaders who are good at this are really good at setting clear expectations.
Okay.
They define everybody's roles and responsibilities,
Right.
and then they track everybody's progress.
Okay.
So everybody knows where they're going and how to get there.
So it's like a roadmap for everybody.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm already getting a lot to think about here.
Yeah.
We've covered the 5 key roles of a leader,
Yeah,
but the article goes even deeper, right?
it does.
It talks about the specific qualities that make a leader in operational excellence really good.
It does. And that's what we're going to get into after a quick break.
All right, so we just talked about these 5 key roles that leaders can play in operational excellence.
So good.
But what about the actual qualities of these people?
Yeah.
What makes these leaders so good at what they do?
Right. The article actually goes into that too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and some of it might seem obvious at first,
Okay.
but it was really interesting to see how they connect these qualities specifically to operational excellence.
Oh, okay.
So like one of them is visionary thinking. You
Right.
talked about that a little bit before.
Yeah.
But it's not just about having some vague idea
Right.
of like, oh, the future will be better.
Yeah.
You have to be able to really explain your vision
Okay.
for how operational excellence is going to change things.
So it's like you have to be able to take that dream and like make it into an actual plan
Yes.
that everybody can follow.
And they said something in the article that I thought was really interesting.
Okay.
Real visionary leaders,
Yeah.
they don't just talk about numbers and efficiency.
Right.
They connect it to a bigger purpose,
Oh, okay.
like making a difference for customers,
Right.
or doing something good for the environment,
Right.
or even just creating a better place to work.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, we need to reduce defects by 5%,
Yeah.
they'll say, imagine if we could deliver a perfect product to every customer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's way more inspiring.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're saying it's about getting people excited about the bigger picture.
Yeah, and that's how you inspire people to change,
That makes sense.
when they understand why they're doing it.
Okay, so visionary thinking is important.
It is.
Okay.
Another big one is emotional intelligence.
Oh, okay. I've heard that term a lot.
Yeah, me too.
But why is it so important for operational excellence? Well, think about it.
Okay.
Continuous improvement means things are always changing,
Oh,
and that can be hard for people.
right.
So you need a leader who can understand how people are feeling
Okay.
and create a space where everybody feels comfortable.
So that people can share their ideas and not be afraid to like mess up.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like that's hard to do in a lot of companies.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's so much pressure to like be perfect.
Especially for the leaders.
Right.
But good leaders,
Yeah.
they know that it's okay to not be perfect.
Okay.
They encourage people to be open about their mistakes and
Right.
learn from them.
That's cool.
Yeah, Because that's how you build trust with your team.
Yeah.
Which is so important when you're trying to make big changes.
Definitely. Okay, so we've got visionary thinking and emotional intelligence.
Yes.
What's next?
Another one is being decisive.
Okay.
And again, this might seem obvious.
Yeah.
But the article actually talks about a specific kind of decisiveness.
It's not just about making fast decisions.
Okay.
It's about making informed decisions,
Oh.
even when you don't have all the information.
So it's like balancing taking action with thinking things through.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
In operational excellence, there's always so much to think about,
Yeah.
like all the data and all the different people involved.
Right.
Good leaders can cut through all of that
Yeah.
and make a decision even when it's risky.
Oh, that's a good point.
Okay. And that brings us to another important quality.
Okay.
Resilience.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, change is never easy.
No, it's not.
So you're going to hit some roadblocks along the way.
Definitely.
How do good leaders deal with that?
The article says that the best leaders,
Yeah.
they can bounce back from those setbacks.
Okay.
And they learn from their mistakes.
Right.
And they just keep going.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
It's like that saying, fall down 7 times, stand up 8.
exactly.
And, you know, the article also talks about how important it is to be adaptable because the business world is like constantly changing.
Yes.
So what worked last year might not work this year.
Right. And leaders who can adapt,
Yeah.
they embrace those changes.
Okay.
They're not afraid to try new things.
So it's about being flexible and open to new ideas.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got visionary thinking, emotional intelligence, decisiveness, resilience, and adaptability.
Yes.
What's the last one?
Okay, the last one is a commitment to lifelong learning.
Okay, I feel like that's important for everybody,
It is.
but especially for leaders.
Right, because the world of operational excellence is always changing.
Yeah.
There are always new technologies and new ideas.
Right, if you're not learning, you're falling behind.
Exactly.
So how do good leaders stay ahead of the curve?
Well, they're always trying to learn new things.
Okay.
They go to conferences, they read books, they talk to experts.
Yeah.
They're just curious about the world.
Right, and they encourage their teams to do the same.
Yes, exactly.
So it's about creating this culture of continuous learning.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Okay, so now we know what makes an operational excellence leader so good.
We do.
But how do they actually put all of this into practice?
Yeah, like what does it actually look like in a real company?
That's a great question. And thankfully, the article gives some specific examples.
Oh, good.
And it all starts with something that seems really simple.
Okay.
Setting clear goals and metrics.
Okay, that seems pretty basic.
It is,
Yeah.
but you'd be surprised how many companies mess this up.
Really?
Yeah, they set goals that are way too vague.
Okay.
They don't track their progress, and they don't communicate clearly with their team.
So it's not enough to just have a goal.
Right.
You have to make sure that everybody understands the goal.
Yes, and the article talks about using SMART goals.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
You know, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Right.
Because when everybody knows what they're working towards
Yeah.
and how they're going to get there,
Right.
it's much easier to stay motivated.
And to actually achieve those goals.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about metrics?
Right. Well, the article says that it's really important to choose metrics that actually matter.
Okay.
Not just metrics that look good on a report,
Right.
but metrics that actually tell you if you're making progress towards your goals.
So metrics that tell a story?
Yes.
And how do you know if you're choosing the right metrics?
Well, the article says that you need to look at your overall objectives
Okay.
and then choose metrics that will help you track your progress towards those objectives.
That makes sense.
And you need to review those metrics regularly.
Not just like once a year.
No, like every week or
Okay.
even every day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because that way you can catch problems early
Right.
and make adjustments before it's too late.
So it's like having a speedometer for your company.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got goal setting.
Yeah.
What else?
The article also talks about using those Kaizen events.
Oh, yeah, the brainstorming sessions.
Yeah, and it's not just about having the event.
Right.
It's about using it to create a culture of continuous improvement.
Okay, how do they do that?
One way is to make sure that you get people from different departments involved.
Okay.
So you break down those silos
Right.
and get people working together.
And then you actually implement the ideas that come out of the event
Yes,
and track the results?
exactly. And that's how you create a sense of ownership.
Okay.
Because people feel like they're a part of the process.
Right.
And then when you see those results,
Yeah.
it motivates everybody to do even more.
It's like a snowball effect.
Yes, it is.
All right, so we've got goals, we've got Kaizen events.
Yeah.
What else?
This one's important.
Okay.
Developing talent.
Okay.
And this is more than just sending people to a training every now and then.
So, like, how do you actually develop talent?
Well, the article says that good leaders,
Yeah.
they identify the people who have the potential to be future leaders,
Okay.
and then they give them the resources and support they need to grow.
Like mentorship and special projects?
Exactly.
That's cool.
And they create a culture where everybody is encouraged to learn.
So it's not just about the high potential people.
Right. Everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that might involve giving people access to online courses.
Okay.
Or sending them to conferences.
Right.
Or even just setting aside time for people to learn together.
It's like you're creating a learning environment for the whole company.
Exactly, because in today's world,
Yeah.
if you're not learning, you're falling behind.
That's so true.
Okay, so we've talked about goals.
Yeah.
We've talked about continuous improvement.
Uh-huh.
We've talked about developing talent.
Right.
What's next?
What else is there?
The article also talks about using technology strategically.
Okay.
And I know that sounds like really generic advice,
Yeah.
but they talk about it in a really specific way.
Okay.
So it's not just about buying the latest and greatest gadgets.
Right.
It's about thinking carefully about how technology can help you achieve your operational excellence goals.
So it's about using technology intentionally.
Okay. And they talk about how good leaders are always looking for new technologies
Yeah.
that can help them improve their processes and make better decisions.
They also warn about the dangers of technology.
They do.
What kind of dangers?
Well, one of the biggest dangers is implementing technology just because it's new.
Oh, yeah, like the shiny new toy syndrome.
Exactly.
It has to actually be useful for your company.
Right, and you have to make sure that your team knows how to use it.
Yeah, because what's the point of having this amazing software if nobody knows how to use it?
It's like having a fancy car but not knowing how to drive.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got goals, continuous improvement, talent development, and strategic technology use.
That's a lot.
It is.
What's the last one?
This one is about aligning your processes with your strategy.
Okay, that sounds kind of complicated.
It's actually not that complicated.
You okay?
It just means making sure that everything you do,
Yeah.
every process, every task, every decision
Right.
is helping you achieve your overall goal.
Right. So it's like making sure that everybody is on the same page.
Exactly.
Working towards the same thing.
And the article talks about a few tools that can help you do this.
Oh, okay. Like what?
One of them is called value stream mapping.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah.
What is it again?
So basically, it's a way to visualize all of the steps in a process
Okay.
from beginning to end.
Okay.
And it helps you identify any bottlenecks or wasted effort.
Oh, so you can see where the problems are,
Exactly.
and then you can fix them.
And once you've identified those problems,
Yeah.
you can start to streamline the process
Okay.
and make sure that it's aligned with your strategic goals.
So it's like making your company run like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly.
I like that.
And the article also talks about the importance of standardizing best practices.
Okay.
So once you've figured out what works best,
Yeah.
you want to make sure that everybody is doing it the same way.
So it's about creating consistency.
Yes.
And that's where leadership comes in again.
It does.
Because you need someone to make sure that everybody is following the rules.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here.
We have.
We talked about the key roles of a leader,
Yeah.
the essential qualities, and now all these specific strategies.
Yes.
But how do we know if it's actually working?
That's a great question.
Like, how do we measure the effectiveness of all of this?
Right, because it's one thing to talk about operational excellence.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to actually see the results.
So what are we looking for?
Well, the article says that we need to look beyond just hitting those KPIs.
Okay.
We need to make sure that those improvements are actually helping the company achieve its strategic goals.
So it's not just about being more efficient.
Right.
It's about being more efficient in a way that actually benefits the business.
Exactly.
Okay, and how do we measure that?
Well, the article gives a bunch of different areas to focus on.
Okay.
So one of them is employee engagement.
Right.
Are your employees feeling more empowered? Are they more invested in their work?
Because happy employees are productive employees.
Exactly.
It does.
We can also look at how well those continuous improvement initiatives are being implemented.
Okay.
Are those Kaizen events actually leading to real improvements?
And are those improvements lasting?
Exactly.
Okay, what about talent development?
Right. Well, we can look at things like promotion rates and retention rates
Okay.
and even employee satisfaction surveys.
Oh, interesting.
Are people getting promoted?
Yeah.
Are they staying with the company?
Yeah.
And are they happy?
Okay, so it's not just about the numbers.
No.
It's about how people are feeling.
Exactly.
Okay.
Ergo also talks about data-driven decision-making.
Okay.
Are leaders actually using data to make their decisions?
Right.
Or are they just going with their gut?
Yeah, because we have all this data now.
So much data.
We should be using it.
We should. And we can also look at how well the company is adapting to new technologies and methodologies.
Oh,
Are they embracing those changes?
right.
Or are they resisting them?
Because operational excellence is all about continuous improvement.
Exactly.
Okay, and last but not least,
Yes.
what about external recognition?
Oh, yeah. The awards.
The awards, yeah.
Has the company won any awards
Okay.
for their operational excellence efforts?
Okay, so we're looking at a lot of different things
We are.
to measure leadership effectiveness,
But it's not just about checking boxes.
right?
It's about creating a culture of excellence
That makes sense.
throughout the whole company.
Okay, so we've talked about how to measure effectiveness,
We have.
but what happens when things go wrong?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like, what about crisis management?
Right, because even with the best leaders,
Yeah.
sometimes things just happen.
So how does the article talk about dealing with those situations?
Well, it says that those moments of crisis are actually when you can see true leadership.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because it's easy to be a good leader when everything is going well.
Right.
But when things are falling apart,
Yeah.
that's when you really see what a leader is made of.
So it's like being the captain of a ship in a storm.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the article talks about how leaders who are good at crisis management,
Yeah.
they're usually calm under pressure.
Okay.
They communicate clearly,
Right.
and they can make tough decisions quickly.
So they don't freeze up when things get tough.
No, they take charge.
And they can reassure their team.
Yes, even when everybody is freaking out.
Okay. So what can leaders do to prepare for a crisis?
Well, the article says that it's really important to have a crisis management plan.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean trying to predict every possible thing that could go wrong.
Right.
It just means having a plan for how you're going to communicate and make decisions
Okay.
when something unexpected happens.
So it's about having a framework for action,
Exactly.
even when you don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And it's also important to practice that plan
Oh,
so that everybody knows what to do when the time comes.
like a fire drill?
Yes, exactly.
That's a good idea.
And the article also talks about the importance of building a resilient culture,
Okay.
not just for the leaders.
But for the whole company.
Yes, because when everybody is resilient,
Yeah.
the company could adapt to anything.
That makes sense.
And that's where leadership is so important.
Okay.
Because leaders need to create an environment where people feel comfortable taking risks
Right.
and making mistakes.
And learning from those mistakes.
Exactly.
And celebrating the small wins.
Yes, because all of that contributes to a more resilient culture.
That's really cool.
I know, right?
Okay, so we were just talking about how important it is for companies to be resilient.
Yeah.
But it made me think,
Okay.
what about those times when things go really wrong?
Oh, yeah, like a major crisis.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like, how do you lead when everything is falling apart?
Right. And the article actually talks about that too.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And it basically says that those moments of crisis
Yeah.
are when you can really see a leader's true colors.
Oh.
Because it's easy to be a good leader when everything's going well.
Yeah.
But when things are tough,
Yeah.
that's when you really see what a leader is made of.
So it's like trial by fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what makes a good crisis leader?
Well, the article says that they tend to be really calm,
Okay.
even when everybody else is panicking.
Right.
They're also good communicators,
Oh,
so they can keep everybody informed.
right.
And they can make tough decisions quickly.
So they don't get paralyzed by indecision.
No, they take action.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the article also talks about the importance of having a crisis management plan.
Oh,
So it's not just about being a good leader in the moment.
right.
It's about being prepared.
So what does a good crisis management plan look like?
Well, it's not about trying to predict every possible crisis,
Right.
because you can't do that.
No, you can't.
It's more about having clear procedures
Okay.
for how you're going to communicate and make decisions
Okay.
when a crisis does happen.
Yeah. So it's like having a playbook.
Exactly.
Okay, and you should practice that playbook.
Yes, definitely.
Like a fire drill.
Exactly.
So that everybody knows what to do.
Right, because when a crisis hits,
Yeah.
you don't want to be wasting time figuring things out.
You need to be able to act fast.
Exactly.
And the article also talks about building a resilient culture.
Yes.
So it's not just about the leader.
Right. It's about the whole organization.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be able to adapt and bounce back.
So how do you create that kind of culture?
Well, the article says that leaders need to encourage experimentation.
Okay.
And they need to be okay with people making mistakes.
Right, because that's how people learn.
Exactly.
And you need to celebrate those small wins
Yes.
to keep people motivated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because when people feel supported,
Yeah.
they're more likely to take risks
Right.
and try new things.
And that's how you innovate.
Exactly.
Wow, this has been a really eye-opening deep dive.
Yeah.
We've covered so much. From the 5 key roles of a leader to the importance of crisis management.
And everything in between.
Yeah. What's your biggest takeaway from all of this?
Honestly, what really sticks with me is that leadership and operational excellence,
Yeah.
it's not just about the technical stuff.
Right.
It's about people.
Yeah.
It's about having a vision, inspiring your team, being able to adapt to change.
So it's about being human.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And when you have all of those things in place,
Yeah.
that's when you can really achieve amazing things.
Well, I think our listeners have a lot to think about after this deep dive.
I hope so.
Thanks for joining us today.
It was my pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, thanks for tuning in to another deep dive.
We'll